All right, so we're going to talk about the steps in scientific inquiry. And I'm going to draw on an example that I used a minute ago. I used the example of seeing an animal over there. And so, so there are 4 steps to the scientific method. And I'm going to move out of the way. Observation, hypothesis, experimentation, and conclusion. And you have two choices at the end of this process. You're either going to accept the hypothesis that you formed, or you're going to reject the hypothesis and form a new one. So let's take that example, that kind of silly example that I said, I see an animal over there. It's got whiskers, it's got stripes, and I think, so in my mind, so I made an observation, and I think it's going to make a sound, but I haven't heard it yet. So I made an observation, and I say, okay, I see an animal over there. It's got some whiskers there, and it has some stripes on it. I bet it's a cat. Observation, whiskers and stripes. Hypothesis, I bet it's a cat. Experimentation. In this case, the experiment is just to go put a microphone near it, and you hear it go, what, what, what? What? That's not a meow. That's a bark. So my conclusion is, it isn't a cat. I got a new idea. It's a dog. I formulated a new hypothesis. This is the process, albeit a little more scientific when you're studying drugs. Sorry about that. Albeit a little more scientific when you're studying something like drugs or something else, but it's the exact same hypothesis. So you can, you ask a question, which is, the observation leads to a question, and then the question leads to an analysis, either just listening or you set up an experiment. You say, I've got this drug that I think is going to cure COVID-19, and you give it to a whole bunch of people, and then some of them you give just something else that doesn't do anything, and you compare to see if there was a benefit by taking the drug. That's a different kind of an experiment. But in both cases, you come to a conclusion where you either accept your hypothesis or you reject it, and you can't say, now we better try something else. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my stand here. So you make a hypothesis, and I mean, like maybe I said, oh, I bet it's a dog, but then you realize you test your hypothesis more, it goes purr, and you realize, no, it's not a bark, that's just a weird meow. So it's a constantly changing, analyzing. This is an interesting point. This is a very important point about science. Just because I concluded that it's a dog doesn't mean it's a dog. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just thought that was barking. And so science is always re-evaluating where the decisions and the ideas, the conclusions that have been made. And notice, I didn't prove anything. When I did the experiment, I supported a hypothesis. I said that we can accept the hypothesis if the animal went meow, but maybe it's something weird, and later on we realized we were wrong, and so we didn't ever prove anything. We just accepted and supported the hypothesis, or we made a new one. That's the way science works. How long are we? Okay, I just have a few more slides. I want to go back to our Mars rocks. So I'll start one more video for today, and we'll apply this to our Mars rocks, and let's see what we came up with.